What's up, y'all? So today's video is going to be a little different. It's not gonna really be like content as in like pranks and stuff. It's gonna be more about me and who I am as a person and what I think. So you guys could get to know me a little better, and so you guys can decide whether or not you want to like and follow. Because I will be doing pranks and stuff, I just want you guys to get to know me a little better. I'm gonna move the camera a little bit. So I had friends ask me questions that I never answered for them before, and I'm gonna answer all of them as truthfully as I can. Just FYI, I probably won't be editing much of this video. Like, I'm not gonna be, it's not gonna be like, if it's in pieces, it's because I didn't want it to be too long because I'm recording from my phone and you know how that is. So if it's in pieces, it's gonna be like that, but I'm not gonna edit anything out. The only thing I'd probably edit out is my dog barking because he barks really loud. Yes, I have a dog, so my brother's coming home soon and he'll be barking at him. So yeah, so, and if you hear little like pitter patters in the back, it's his little feet. So let's get started. All right, so the first question, I'm reading these off my iPads. All right, my iPad. The first question is, would you rather live an 100% perfect life with money, food, shelter, clothing, etc., at the cost of watching everyone in the world suffer, or would you rather suffer while everyone, even people who you hate, has the perfect life? Well, to be honest, my life won't be perfect if people are suffering. Yeah, I won't be suffering, but I'm a person that if I see someone else suffer, I start suffering with them. I just don't feel like money could ever bring that to a like complete stop. Like, I don't think money could keep me from caring about people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think money is worth watching everyone else suffer, because at the end of the day, like they say, it doesn't matter. Money, you could have a gold freaking casket, at the end of the day you're gonna be buried in the ground. Like, you're going to the ground. It's not where it's like you go somewhere amazing, because from what I know, like most people would say, is if you want to go to heaven, or if you believe in heaven, which I do, it gives me hope. If you believe in it, then you would know that being greedy and just not caring about everybody else suffering, just caring about yourself, I don't think you'll end up there. So I would say I'd rather suffer while everyone else is living a perfect life, because I have suffered to points where I felt everybody had a good life but me. But I think we've all felt that way at one point. It's what depression is called when you're suffering and you feel like you're the only one suffering. You feel alone. This is why I'm making this video too. Like, don't feel alone, because I'm gonna talk about myself more, say some, maybe a story. This is probably gonna be like a 30-minute video, and I'm sorry in the long run, but we'll see how this goes. So yeah, that's my answer. I would rather suffer. What kind of animal would you choose to be reincarnated as, and why? Oof. I would love to be a dog. Like, I know a dog sounds basic, but a dog is someone who loves more than what they get back. Like, they just love to care about people and stuff. And though a lot of them get mistreated and it's unfair, like, it's really sad, I would want to be a dog, because I feel like I could be someone who's loyal, and I feel like I can be someone who loves my owner to death. And I don't feel like I could be a biter, only biting people I don't like. Like, if I feel like somebody's bad, I'm gonna bite him probably. And I just think dogs are loving, and the biggest plus side is they get to lay down all day. Like, how amazing is that? And if you hear that noise in the background, It's not me farting. It's my chair, okay? I could do it again, so that's on that. I would be a doggy. Woof woof, you know what I'm saying? Woo woo. Okay. 3, you mentioned you like writing in the previous video. What inspired you to write, and where do you get inspiration? Well, what inspired me to write was actually my friend Mark. I saw him writing when we were in like 8th grade, I think. He was writing stories, and I thought it was cool that, like, I didn't realize that you could write stories about stuff you've been through and input it into different characters. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I was like, you know what, that's a good idea. So I guess you could say watching him write inspired me to be like, damn, I should write. And my inspiration comes from things I've been through and things I've seen. Most of my writing is based on depression and anxiety and stuff like that, but it's based to, like, the ending is usually like where it needs to be positive and shows like you're gonna be okay, while also showing the struggles of having depression and anxiety. And it's not just being sad, it could be like other symptoms, like sometimes just being angry for no reason, or anxious, like thinking of the worst scenarios ever, like, oh, if I do this I may choke on it, or like something like so deep and surreal that's not gonna happen, but in your head it feels so surreal. You feel like, oh my god, like I'm gonna die, like this is happening right now. So I think that's a big inspiration to me, like my anxiety and depression and what I've been through. And when I tell you guys what I've been through, which will probably be later on in the video, I feel like you'll understand my writing more. Like I do have the fanfic, and it is triggering because a lot of it was like my depression at 14. But you know, at 14, a lot of people are like, oh, you're just going through a stage. And in your head, sometimes you're like, maybe I am just going through a stage or whatever. Like, or you're like, it's not a stage. But at the same time, you're like, you don't understand your depression. So you kind of just look at social media and you kind of just look and say, okay, well, maybe that's how I am. So at that time, I was kind of like, a little out there for stuff that shouldn't be out there, I guess you can say. But that's that. So I get my inspiration from my mental health, and the person that inspired me, or the person that made me start writing, was my best guy friend Mark. All right, would you rather be infected by zombies or abducted by aliens? Because I want to know what they think of us humans, because I want to be up there and they're probably like, these humans are dumb AF, like they can't even take care of their own damn selves, they're wiping themselves out. And I'll be like, you was right, like you mad right, like I understand where you're coming from, like I wish I was one of you guys, because damn, we stupid, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to call y'all stupid, but you know what I mean. Like, this world can be pretty dumb, and I'm sure aliens be up there like just watching us. Like, if they had their own camera, or like on Instagram, or like if they just had a camera, we'd be on World Star like every single day. I mean, we already are, but you know what I mean. So, abducted by aliens. In a deadly situation, you could only save one person, your mom or your dad. Who would you choose and why? I don't like this question, and I don't want to answer it because I don't feel like it's a question I can answer. Like, I can't choose over my mom and my dad. I love them both. So, I mean, I don't think I can really choose on that. I just know that, like, the person that knows how to do the bills and stuff is my mom. So, like, I mean, I don't know. I just don't think I could really come down to it, though. Like, I feel like I'd rather risk myself than ever have to choose between one. I'll be like, can I just use myself instead? But good try trying to get me to choose between. Let's see. If there's no God, what's the point of life? Listen, that sounds really depressing, and I've been there before. But, I mean, how do we know there's no God? You know what I'm saying? But how do we know there is a God? I understand that point. It's like, how do we know? I just have faith, because I do see so much good in this world that I'm like, you know what? Maybe there is something helping. Like, for me, what I've been through, I got through it, and I don't think I could have done it without faith and God, because I don't think I could have just gotten through myself. There's no way that I just from one day to the next, like, it's like, I'm good. Something happened, like, magical. Like, I was bad. So I think there's a point of life. I mean, even if there was no God, at the end of the day, are you going to be happy living life just thinking about, oh, if there's a God or no God? No, you're going to want to live your life to the fullest and be like, okay, even if there's not a God, at least I died and I lived life. And I got to feel emotions that I didn't think I could feel. All right. Do you believe that there's other life forms in the universe? Hell yeah. Hell to the yeah. You think we the only ones here? Think about it. Look at the temples or like the pyramids, how they were made. Really gonna be out here scratching, bruh? Think about how they were made. A lot of them were like pretty perfect, and the tools that they had, I don't know. I just find it weird. I feel like there's aliens and life out there. There's no way that we're the only ones out of this whole entire universe. There's just no possible way. There's got to be people out there looking for us while we're looking for them. Or just they might not even look like us, but that's another thing. How's that gonna go? Because you know how our world is now. Someone that doesn't look like us, we hate on. So, but I definitely do think that there's other forms of life out there. What would you do if you found out the world was a simulation? To be honest, I don't know. I mean, who be controlling, bro? Like, you understand? Like, I can't really answer that question. Like, I think no matter what, I would just live life to the fullest, and that's it. Like, there's nothing more you can do. Like, I'm not gonna, with no matter ends to the world, like, I'm trying to be happy and trying to live my life, and I think that's like the key to life, is to try to live your life. So, all right, so this one's a really good question, and thank you, Connor, if you're watching, for this, because it's a good question. It's, if a loved one was sick and wasn't going to get better, would you help them or end it? I mean, would you help them end it? To be honest, it's really hard to think that you would try to help someone die. You know what I'm saying? But it's just sometimes it's hard. Like, you don't want to be the one to do that. And it's really hard to make that decision. And it happens a lot. It's like dogs, for example. I know loved ones aren't, well, your dog could be a loved one. And sometimes they're suffering and they're like, we got to put him down. And you're like, no, I don't want to put him down. And then you're like seeing them suffer. Same with humans. You start seeing them suffer and you really think, if you feel selfish because you want to keep them, but at the same time, just let them, it's time for them to let go. It usually means you don't want them to suffer anymore. I mean, they lived the life they wanted. I mean, sometimes they don't, but I don't think it's right to keep them here just because of your own, like, pleasure, or because you don't want to miss them, or you don't want to, you know, have to feel empty or like not have them in your life. But I think I wouldn't help them end it, because I'd just be like, you know what, it's your choice if this is what you want. Even though it would hurt me, if it keeps them from suffering, then I'd tell the doctor, be like, okay, because I was lucky and I didn't get to see when my grandfather was sick, because my grandfather passed away, like, I would say 2 years ago. Yeah, because we're coming up on June 1st, July 1st. Yeah, because it was July 1st. Almost 2 years ago. And a lot of my cousins that were there were saying, thank God you weren't, because they said you don't want to see the way he was suffering. And I'm kind of glad I didn't see him suffer, because I remember him as a jokester, happy here in Florida, like fishing, or not fishing, but loving the water and all that, rather than like seeing him sick. But if I were there, I would literally say he's sick, like he wants to let go, it's time for him to let go. Just let him, you know, he did his time, and I don't want him sick, and I don't want him to suffer. And I just don't think it's right to keep someone to suffer just because you don't want to miss them. Just my opinion. So, good one, Connor. Hit right here. Are people inherently bad or good? This is another good one, Connor. Excuse me. I think they could be both. Because kids are good, some kids are bad. Like, I've seen people that have grown and they're really good people, and then I've seen that are bad. Like, there's 5-year-olds that they act like serial killers already, and I think they were just born to be bad, because I've seen kids like beat up their newborn sister and think it's funny, or like put a dog in a dryer or something, you know? That's just psycho. That's not, oh, he's just a little kid. Like, that's psycho. So I think it just depends on the person if you're inherently good or bad. And I feel like it makes sense when there's dogs and babies, because they have a sense of that. They have a sense already if you're good or bad. And I think it's important to look at that. And I just think it just depends on how you were, I guess, born. Like, some people were just born good, but some people were just born good, and some people were just born bad. It's just the world, I guess. And it sucks, but what can we do, you know? So I think you could be both good or bad. Or some people are just good, they just turn bad because something happened to them in life and they just want revenge or to fill a hole that they're feeling, and they try to do something bad. So, like, I guess, like, you could say for gangs, for example, like, I'm not defending, I mean, like, look at On My Block. I know it's not, like, completely realistic, but I think, like, gangs, for example, like, sometimes some kids are jumped in because they don't feel like they have anyone, and that's considered their family, you know? So they do stuff for their family, and, you know, they're like, well, some of them are just like, F the world, because a lot of them have been through bad stuff because of poverty or being looked at as a certain way. So I know, like, gangs can be violent, but you know what I mean? Like, if you watch On My Block, you understand what I mean. Like, some kids just weren't made for that life, and they don't want to be in that life, but that's their family, and they're not going to disrespect her. You know what I mean? They're like, I finally have a family, and, you know, that's not my opinion to say. I'm not trying to, like, side with gangs or anything. I'm not, you know, chill. I'm just saying, like, some people are just born bad, and some people are just born good, and some people just turn bad because of things that happen to them. And it's the same thing like sexual assault. Like, some people love men, and then all of a sudden they're sexually assaulted, and they could hate men and be, like, hateful towards them and want to kill them and stuff, you know? You never know. It's just, you could be either inherently good or bad. I just think it just depends on how you were born. All right. So, do you believe in life after death? Yes, I do. I think there's life after death. I don't want to think of not having life after death because it's kind of scary to think, like, what if we just never, ever again, like, that's it for us? Excuse me. But I think there's life after death. I've actually had where I feel like there's spirits and stuff, because one day, the day of the funeral of my grandfather, afterwards, the closer family, we all went out to eat, and when we came out of the place to eat, his scent came in the air and a white dove flew by. And if that's not a sign, I don't know what is, you know what I'm saying? And there's been times where I'm like, I feel my grandfather around and I could smell him. See, I'm like hearing noises lately. And sometimes I wonder, isn't that weird? I'm talking about him and then I hear a noise, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like he's here. Even right now, he's probably watching me, I don't know. But I think there's life after death. Like, I've seen things, and for me, I believe there's life after death, and I wouldn't want to think any other way. What do you think is more important? Preserving Preserving history or forgetting everything and moving on? Preserving history. We need to tell people what happened. We can't just forget about the people that made us who we are today. I don't feel like it's right. Now, I don't feel like we should, well, no, actually, yeah, we should use it, because I'm a big person that's like, uses historical stuff, and even though it happened in the past, it's still, to now, yeah, we want to move on, but at the same time, like, we need to teach our kids what happened. We need to teach our kids about 9/11. That was something big that happened. We need to show our kids who Hitler was. In the future, our kids are going to know who Trump was. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's important just to educate our kids on what happened in this world and who made us who we are today and who got us here. Like, for example, like the ones who started like all the infrastructure and all that stuff, like all that, like we didn't just come up with it, you know, somebody did, and they deserve the credit that they got. Martin Luther King deserves the credit that he got. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people just deserve to know about their ancestors and the good they done, and then the ones that have done bad, so people know who they were, and no one is like misguided, like, you know, misinterpreted kind of in a way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want people to be like, oh, well, this person was good because we didn't know the history on them, and we just automatically think, oh, they're good people. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm saying that a lot, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's important to preserve history. Now, do I think we should have it to a point where, like, we're messing with their stuff, like, from the past? I know we want to learn about it, but I don't think it's right to just be going through their stuff, because I feel like some of them did that as a thing for peace and to stay on Earth somehow. And I don't think it's right either to be just digging up their stuff and being like, well, this is mine now, I'm gonna sell it, you know? Okay, I talk too much, I know. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? I'm gonna guess the chicken, because, well, it depends, because if you think about it, no egg just came out of nowhere and grew a chicken. I think a chicken was put on this earth, and then it laid an egg with another chicken, and then it continued to lay eggs. So I think first it was a chicken, now it's the eggs, then the chicken. But I think the chicken is what started the eggs becoming those chickens. I know, it sounds stupid, and I'm probably stupid for saying this, but it's what I think. So if you think I'm an airhead, like below. Then I won't know if you just like my video or you think I'm an airhead, you know? Alright. This video's already gonna be like 20 minutes long. Alright. And, okay. Ugh, disgusting. Alright. Do you think respect comes from being feared or being loved? Being loved, because you need to respect those that you love. I personally only respect people that give me respect back, that I love. I don't respect anyone in fear, okay? I'm not gonna respect anyone in fear, because at the end of the day, if you don't respect me, why should I respect you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect out of love. I give my friends respect because I love them, not because I'm scared of them. I give my parents respect because they respect me as who I am, and I respect them as being my parents. I guess there is some fear, like, sometimes with your parents, because you're like, oh, you know, they raised, you know what I'm saying? You like, oh, they raised me, they made me who I am, kind of thing. But, like, for the most part, I think respect is from love. And some people do have circumstances where they don't respect, but they have to, like, at least act like it because they fear the person in charge. But I think for me, I mean, same thing with, like, not even, because for me, if I have a job and I'm being disrespected, I'm leaving. Like, I'd rather not be unhappy. You know what I'm saying? So, my dog's about to bark. I can hear him. Okay, he hasn't barked. I feel like this last question will work. All right. If anyone could walk in your shoes for a day or experience your life as it is, what would you want them to take away? take away that it's important to love, that it's important to understand mental health, that it's important to speak your mind and tell people out there your story, because a lot of people are struggling. And I want people to understand what anxiety and depression is like, because it's not just regular fear. It's not just being sad. It's much more than that. And a lot of people misinterpret that. They think it's just, oh, you're too sad, be happy, smile. And it's not that. And you're not just being anxious either. So I feel like I'd want people to understand mental health and to understand that there's people out there suffering, and you don't have a right to just judge their story and tell them that they're just going to be okay. Well, I know you want to tell them to be okay, but you can't just tell them, all right, you'll be fine next. Like, I want the person to take away that it's important to listen and important to be there for somebody. So that's what I think I would want the person to take away from it. So, yep, that's from Mark and Connor. Now I have some from a friend named Gabby. So let's see what those questions are like. All right, so we got from what you have gone through so far in life, what are some lessons you've learned? Don't love someone to a point where you stop loving yourself. It's not worth it. If you love someone and they're wrecking you, don't waste your time on them, because it'll tear you down, and there'll be moments where you want to die, and it's not worth it. I can tell you right now, because you'll find happiness with someone else. So don't do that. Probably to help other people with lessons I learned, help other people with mental health, like I said. Probably I would say just speak your mind and try to help those in need. Like, the best you can do in this world is try to help people and make life better. That's the best you can do. It's not living in greed or just thinking about yourself. It's about spreading love and spreading positivity. And yes, there's days where you're not going to be positive, and it's okay. You're human. You don't have to be Miss I'm smiling all day or Mr. I'm going to smile all day. Just be yourself. Be positive. Remember that you're human. Don't degrade yourself, and don't put out love don't give out love to something or someone that'll just bring you hatred towards yourself and brings you down, because it's not worth it. Because at the end of the day, they're probably living life and you're suffering. And I know I said I'd rather have that than me being happy, but it's okay to be happy. It's not against the law to be happy, and it's okay to get through that. So don't feel like, oh, well, if I love this person, I can't stop, caring about them. And true, you can't, sometimes you just gotta stop caring, actually. Sometimes you just gotta stop. And I promise you, there are circumstances that it's okay to stop. And if you feel like you're hurting yourself because of this circumstance, then it's not worth it. And I'm telling you right now, it's okay to stop it. Is there anything from your past that you wish you could change? No. I'm gonna be honest. Why should I change anything in the past if it got me to where I'm at now, to where my eyes are open and I know what's going on in the world, and I've learned who to care about, who to love, when to trust myself, when to trust someone else. And though I'm still suffering and so much pain with things, it's taught me a lot, and it taught me how to be an adult, and it taught me how to be a good person. And I wouldn't change anything, because if I did, I feel like just one change could change everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, one change could ruin your image or ruin you much more than before. Like, I could be like, oh, well, I wish I was the popular, happy kid. A lot of those kids now are suffering depression, really sad, just like we were in high school, or I was in high school. So it's like, what's the point of changing anything? It's not worth it. I wouldn't change anything. Oof, my face got mad serious when I started talking about these things. Deep questions, bro. Be getting in my head. But it's gonna get more serious. I don't know how this is gonna be like an hour long, and I'm so sorry because I know I'm annoying and some of y'all don't want to hear me for that long. Maybe I'll section it in 2 parts. I'll do the questions for one video. Hello. As I was saying before, sorry, my dog started barking because my brother got home finally. As I was saying before, I'm probably just gonna split the questions for one video, and then the other video will be my story of who I am. I mean, these questions kind of show already who I am. And I'm sorry if I'm serious for a lot of video, as I want to show the raw of me and what I believe and what I've been through. And some of these questions, I'm like, you know. Okay. If you had a lot of money, how would you spend it? Spend it. Honestly, I would spend it helping people. One, I would buy my parents a house and their dream cars because they worked hard their whole life, and I just want them to live happy. And I'd give them my money so my mom could or my mom and dad can go out to like vacation and stuff. But yeah, I think I would help people. I would help them first, of course, because of my mom and dad. I would help some family members, only the ones that cared about me, not the ones that just care all of a sudden because I have money. They can go screw themselves. And then I'd help with charities and actually going out to places and helping like build schools and stuff, because I would always wanted to do that. And I would probably go around traveling to educate people about mental health, helping teenagers and like young adults on it, even kids, because a lot of people don't focus on them. They're like, they'll get over it. They're just at that age. And it's not true. You're not just at that age. Like, you're probably depressed and you're probably suffering anxiety, and it's not okay. Like, it's okay to have it. It's not normal, but it's not like, you know what I mean? But I think it's important for people to understand all that stuff. So I think I'm gonna do that for I think I would do that with money, to be honest. Like, and I would probably start a clothing line and have it like inspired by people whose voices need to be heard, and have them actually design it, because there are people out there that their voices need to be heard, and I feel like through clothing that would be amazing to be heard through, you know, because a lot of people love clothes and dressing certain ways, and I just feel like it would be really cool. And all the money from there would go to them, of course, and some of the proceeds would also go to like mental health and charities that actually need it, not just people that just claim to be sad, or you know what I mean. Like, I keep saying you know what I mean, you probably don't, I don't know, but on stuff that's important and like actually helping people, because I know there's some charities that act like they help people and the money's nowhere to be found. So I think that's what I would do. If you had to pick between Jordan, which is my fiance, or my family, who would I choose? I wouldn't have to choose either, because Jordan is my family already. She's my fiance. She's my family. She's been my family since she's been my best friend. And when I got to call her mine, she was definitely in the family. She's been family ever since. So I wouldn't have to choose between, because she is my family, and it's that. So, and it's not a loophole. It's true. She's my family already. Just because we don't have the official like papers doesn't mean, to me, we were married 3 years ago when I already fell in love with her, and I knew she was going to be mine for the rest of my life. Because sometimes you just know who your soulmate is going to be. And God knew, because he gave me a sign the first time I talked to her. I was nervous, and then we spent 2 hours on FaceTime talking like nothing. And the feeling in my stomach when I first went on her profile picture, like ever, when she just commented under my photo, my stomach turned, and I didn't know why. And now I know. It's because I was made to love her, and she was made to be my family. So I guess those are the questions. If you got more, I mean, I could comment. I could make another video. It could be funny this time. Like, I don't know about dirty yet because my mom watches this. So, you know, I don't want to get in trouble. But I'm about to be 21. But, you know, I'm Hispanic. So, you know how that is. Like, just because you're Hispanic don't mean you on your own until you got your own house. You pay your own bills. So, yeah. So that's the questions, y'all. If you have any more, you could comment some below. Yeah, and like this video. This is me. I'm just being me, answering truthfully. Love you guys. I was gonna say click the link below, but I'm like, I don't have a link. Like, wait, I don't have a link below. But yeah, thank you. And 3, 2,